Yeah, dude, of course. Everybody knows that Wolverine is just two Batmans kissing. I mean, it's part of why it's Perez's favorite superhero in the world. It's this whole, like, hidden feelings and hidden emotions thing that he just really doesn't want to talk. Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast. This is episode 80 of the show where we like to normalize checking in on the homies. I'm Mike. The other Mike is somewhere gallivanting around. But we got to sit down this week with our boy, our friend, our homie, and the Shredmaster extraordinaire, David Lyon. So check it out. David is a Shredmaster on the guitar, plays more strings than I can even imagine thinking of on my guitar. And he's an all-around just dope-ass dude. So we were happy to have him on the show. And once again, I'm rambling. I do this when I'm alone. So hang tight. Check out the episode. It's rad. Before we jump into that, a couple of announcements. One, hit us up at walkingblindpod@gmail.com or at walkingblind anywhere so we can sit down and talk and have a discussion. Also, check the link in bio because I added the playlist, or I'm adding the playlist. I'm saying that now. I'm adding the playlist to the link in bio on our Instagram. So you guys can check that out, follow it, subscribe to it, and shoot us the songs that are speaking to your soul with your mental health. Also, the cups. We're legit down to like the last handful of these cups in the last box. We're just going to keep the sale going. I mean, we're trying to blow these out, kind of get them out of the garage and get them in your hands. They work for cold drinks and hot drinks. So check them out and follow us everywhere at Walking Blind Pod, walkingblindpod@gmail.com. Across the board, hit us up. We want to hear from you guys. That being said, this is episode 80 with David Lyon. Check it out right here.
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
Anywho,
How the hell are you guys doing?
things good.
We're good. Mike just got off the phone with his girlfriend. He was sitting in the car while we were hanging out.
I didn't realize you guys see that.
we have
like,
Mike
no,
on
baby, they're
surveillance. He's sitting out there like talking to his lady, and
No,
we're just
baby,
sitting
they're
here, like,
cool. They have no idea I'm here.
Like I said, you're always being watched, dude. We can all see it.
They expect me to be late.
I half like when he was like, I think Mike's here. I was like, chances are it's not Mike, but other chance is he's in there talking to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So
There you go. And I saw the post today. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
that was 15 minutes. Now the
17.
world has kind of a glimpse of how your voice messages go.
Little side tangents.
It's like that, but without the video.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I got to Jordan, my girlfriend, she got to experience one today.
Like a long voice.
Well, no, it's just like I caught myself in a tangent. I caught myself being like waving to like a neighbor or something. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
I was doing something, and then I came back to the message. I was like, oh shit, sorry, that was.
It's just like 8 minutes of you just talking to the neighbor.
It's only like 30 seconds of actual content. But
Yeah.
it's like a 3-minute message.
That's amazing.
And then you're having a conversation with a neighbor for
Yeah.
like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Man, I was in your guys' neck of the woods 3 weeks ago.
Where?
What?
I was in Moreno Valley, Riverside area. Oh, yeah.
Mobile.
What are you doing out here?
Visiting family.
Visiting
like
fam?
always. I'm probably out there at least once a year.
Okay.
So, I mean, since that's where I grew up, we go visit family.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, anytime you're in town, hit us up, man.
dude, I will. I actually almost was like, because you actually hit me up to do this
Yeah.
right before I went, and I was going to be like, well, if he offers, I'll just go and head over. And
Dude,
hang
if
out
I
with
knew
guys.
you were here, we would have made it happen. I would much
Shit.
rather be like in person
Oh yeah.
than
Could've been right here.
like on video. I was like, just
Yeah,
right here.
that's. I dropped the ball. Next time.
It's all right.
'Cause I'm
It's
there
all right.
every year.
That's cool.
Dude, so
Always good times.
So speaking of, I guess we could just jump straight into this, like speaking of Moreno Valley, speaking of your time here, how long ago was that? It's got to be at least like
13 years
13
ago.
years?
Yeah,
Okay.
13 to 15. Somewhere around there.
Something
I was
like
actually thinking of that earlier today.
So back then, that was, and this is going to date us, and then two, it's going to make the world see exactly how much weight I've gained. But you played in a band called The Premier, right?
Correct.
Way back in the day. Okay, just wanted to make sure because I found this.
Charlie.
I found this. Check this bad boy out.
Oh, dang.
Holy shit.
Dude, I remember you wearing that.
Hey!
This was a
Dude, that's
medium that
awesome.
used to fit my body. This used to fit my body. Now this is not even like, this is not even a question.
Maybe you could try.
Let's not.
Try.
The shirt I'm
Do it right
currently
now.
wearing is 3 sizes bigger than this.
I mean,
That's all right.
but it's baggy on you.
But yeah, dude,
That would
still
be
got
a
it.
slim fit.
Dude.
That's dope. Ricky made that, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Ricky made that artwork for that.
I think so.
Pretty damn sure.
I think so.
Um,
Did he print
yeah,
the shirts too?
that's- I don't think he printed the shirts.
don't think he
I
was
think we went through
printing
somewhere
them.
else. But yeah, I know he did like a lot of the logos for us.
Yeah, I think.
Man, long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
Still
I
got it.
remember playing shows. That's awesome. That's super awesome that you still have it. I mean, I remember playing shows with no bragging rights. We played probably anywhere from 3 to 5. This is going to make me sound really lame, Mike, but I remember always watching you guys and be like, damn it, that's what I want to do. Like,
Yeah.
that's the band that I want to be in.
13 years ago? 13 years ago, MBR? 15 years
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
MBR? Really?
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
So for me, I always wanted to go heavier. Like, that was always it was like in my DNA to always just go heavier.
Yeah.
And, I actually started playing pop punk to actually get my wife. That's pretty much why.
Hey,
That's why we all start in
that's
pop
fair.
Punk,
That's
right?
fair. I
That's
feel
fair.
that.
Women like it, and so yeah, that's why I started that. And I think I actually, so it's weird. I'm actually related now to 2 of the members in the premiere. So the drummer Nick married my sister, and then the guitarist Seth married my sister-in-law.
Whoa.
So we're all still connected. But Seth told me not too long ago that the premiere only lasted like 10 months. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it
Like,
wasn't.
that's crazy because it was like, it felt like a lifetime. And we played shows so much.
Yeah.
Like every weekend we were playing shows. So it was crazy to hear that. Like, and I was so young. I was 17, 18. Couldn't even get into like shows when we were playing like at bars. They would always have to fucking stamp me and shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was a short-lived time. But I always wanted to go heavier. I got the girl already. I don't need to keep on playing this shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then watching, you guys were a huge inspiration. So like watching you guys, like I just always wanted to go heavier. And like my favorite band at the time was, Protest the Hero. And so playing pop punk and listening to Protest the Hero, it was like, dude, I just wanted to be doing that kind of stuff. Like that's all I wanted to do. So yeah, the premiere was very short lived. So it was very interesting to hear that because it felt like a lifetime to me.
Yeah, dude, 10 months is not a very long time, but it's,
That's kind of crazy to me now because I'm like, I feel like I not only did we play together, but I feel like I've like seen you. I went to see you at shows, and it's just like funny to think that's all within like a year.
yeah.
I know.
Dude.
It's so crazy. And like we were trying to like really take off real quick too. I remember recording and finishing an album, and then that night we went and played a show. Like, and then after that, like a couple weeks later, we're talking about tour. I mean, but that was during the MySpace days too.
Yeah.
So like everybody was looking for that MySpace fame. So definitely different times. Holy shit, that definitely dates us. But it was funny. I was actually talking to. Do you guys anyone remember David Fro from Panama?
Panama, yeah, of course.
I was just hanging out with him the other day.
No way.
He lives in Utah, and he was telling me about his story about the MySpace fame, and I was just like blown away about like MySpace giving record deals and shit like that, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
it was
that's
weird.
Insane.
Wait, were they signed to the MySpace label?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's what he said. And they handed them a nice chunk of change, and they actually made the money back, like quick, super quick. I mean, they were playing at Warped Tour, and I was just like, damn, like that's impressive.
Yeah,
super impressive. But
does he still have the fro?
Yeah, he lives here now. No, he shaved. He shaved his head. Well, not shaved his head, but he cut his hair like a couple years back. So it was very, very interesting to like, or not interesting, but just like, whoa, shocking to see that because I'm just used to his big hair.
So he held out for a while then, and then finally was like, all right.
Yes,
Good for him. Good
yes,
for him.
exactly. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's interesting. Like a lot of people made their way up to Utah. I thought that like I was alone up here, and I actually kind of still feel like I'm alone up here, especially when it comes to musicians. Most
Mhm.
people are in the LA area, but I found a couple of people up here that do play metal, and it's nice to hear. It's a nice refresher, I guess.
Where in Utah are you?
So I'm in Utah County, um, across the lake from like Provo, Orem, or you can say like 45 minutes south of Salt Lake.
Okay.
Um, Super Mormonville.
Yes.
But that's all of Utah, so that's that. It's an interesting place.
So what was it that brought you from out here out to Utah? Was it work? Was it family? Was it just
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. I actually had some family that lived here already, and
Mormon?
I at the time, yes, they are Mormon. I am not Mormon.
They
Yeah. Let me make that clear. No, just kidding. Yeah. So, and I did grow up LDS though, but yeah. So they lived up here already, and I at the time was 24, still living that kind of dream of I'm gonna, go make it and be on tour and uh, trying to live the dream. But I worked at Subway and I lived at my mother-in-law's house and was drinking heavily, um, and was gaining a lot of weight. And really, I was just like kind of a piece of shit, dead end, just kind of everywhere I looked. I tried to apply at other jobs, and I I, I couldn't really make it there. And I always say that I was kind of voted off the island when it came to SoCal. Like I tried, but I couldn't do it. So the offer from my brother came, and he's just like, "Hey, why don't you come up here for a couple months, see if you can just land any gig, and just see if it works." So I left, who was my girlfriend at the time, actually, left her family and just left it all behind. Went up to Utah, and within 3 months, I had a job in an apartment.
Oh,
So it was totally a different. I mean, definitely it was a different lifestyle. Being here, the economy, everything was different. Everything was cheaper, and like I didn't want to go at first because I felt like I was leaving my dream behind, like my little kid kind of dream.
Right.
And I kind of made that sacrifice mainly because in hopes that I could still pursue the dream, but in a different way. Instead of having no money and no way to pay for my recordings, what if I was a little bit busier and actually still had the money to pay for recordings and things like that? So that's kind of what was the main thing. And then obviously being able to live on my own at 24, that's what seems desirable. So yeah, within 3 months had my own place and I was ready to go. From there, it was just like getting rid of all the bad habits from previous years and just kind of working on myself. And so I ended up gaining around probably 60 to 70 pounds while I was in SoCal. Yep. It's rough. And so when I got here, it was like job first, and let's then get that taken care of. Let's get the apartment, move my girlfriend up at the time. And then it was kind of like, all right, let's focus on other shit now.
Yeah.
Then it was, let's focus on myself, writing music more, got back into that. And then I started to hit the gym. I have a kind of a funny story, actually. I lost around, I think it was like 68, 69 pounds. I like to say 69 because it's a great number.
It's sexier.
Yeah. It's just
It really
more
is.
awesome.
And I did it while eating Taco Bell. And it's really funny because Taco Bell actually ended up getting a hold of me, inviting me out to headquarters. I got to meet people. It was really funny and really fun. Yeah, so I actually made a video and sent it into Taco Bell and was like, hey, I lost this much weight while eating your guys' food every day. And So I'm a sales guy. That's what I do for work, and so I kind of have my ways in to be able to get a hold of people. So I contacted the CEO, I contacted the CMO, and basically they had their PR team reach back out to me, and they were like, "Hey, we saw your video. The CEO actually watched it and told us to get a hold of you. We want to invite you out to Irvine, and we want to, basically give you a tour." It was pretty awesome. It was a fun experience, and it's weird.
What were you
eating? Wait. What did you? Wait, you got hold on.
What were you eating at Taco Bell? Because we hit the bell regularly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll start there. I have
so am I. So when it comes to losing weight, really, technically, I wouldn't normally give this advice, but technically, you can eat whatever you want as long as you stay underneath the calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would have every day, I would have a small lunch, and then for dinner, I'd have 2 bean burritos and 2 tacos, crunchy tacos. And basically, I was around 1,500 calories every day. So that's what did it. Plus, I was going to the gym. But that's all it was. 2 bean burritos, 2 tacos.
That's amazing.
Every single day. And they invited me out to headquarters. I got to meet some awesome people. And the nutritionist lady, she basically, the reason why they had me go there is so she can meet me and basically say, thank you for doing my job. And thank you for showing people that Taco Bell is healthy. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
I thought they were bringing you for an intervention to be like, hey, so you're going to experience some health difficulties.
Yeah.
And we're going to need you to be quiet about it.
Things are going to get bad real fast.
But here's a lifetime supply.
I am so sorry that you were on the toilet every fucking day, all right? No, dude, and I thought that they were going to bring me there to be the next fucking Jared. And I was like, no, I am not going to be the next Jared, especially not the creepy child shit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely not going to do that, okay? That's what I thought that they were going to do, and I was actually really afraid. I don't want to be that guy. I don't.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. It was a cool place.
Please, you got to describe it to me. What was it?
It's just a giant bell, right?
You
just walk inside.
Okay. So not one person that was working there had a fucking frown on their face. Every single person working there had a smile.
Of course.
It was awesome. So inside headquarters, they have 2 Taco Bell restaurants in there. So on the upper level and the lower level. And they'll make you anything you want from previous releases and items. So my biggest thing that they took away was the chili cheese burrito. Okay, they used to have that back in the day. I had 4 of them there. It was delicious. It was great. God. I was so stoked. I'm a huge Taco Bell fan, huge Taco Bell nerd. So yeah, it was. Here's the best part though. You ready? This is good. So they sent me home with some swag, a little Taco Bell shirt, a little Taco Bell hat, and some gift cards. All right. And in these gift cards, I didn't know how much were on these, but there was I think that there was 5. I'm like, dude, bro, Taco Bell, these are loaded up. You fucking know it. There's a good $200 probably on each one. This is gonna be dope.
Yeah.
So I told my wife, hey, they give me a bunch of gift cards. They give me 5. Sure, they're loaded. Taco Bell. I'm gonna bring Taco Bell home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring Taco Bell home. What do you want? So her and her sister, they fucking order up, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. Okay, so I pull up to the window. I think the total was $21, and so I give him the one gift card. I'm like, and I remember being so stupid, and I give him the one gift card. I'm like, I just came back from headquarters. They actually just invited me there, so here you go. So I gave him the one, and they're like, okay. Your total is 16 something.
No, they're $5 gift cards, dude.
Hold on. Check this one. This should be good. Your total, yes, $5 per one. I went through every single one in that one order, pretty much, and I had $4 left over, and I was just like, "You fucking kidding me, Taco Bell? You just did me wrong. You did me dirty." I lost all this weight, and you're gonna give me $25?
Why couldn't they just give you one card with $20 on it?
I don't understand. Yeah.
Seriously, seriously, yeah. So absolutely stupid. Anywho, so that's my fun Taco Bell story. Lost a bunch of weight, and pretty much from there, like it was like me moving to Utah was starting to feel like I actually like accomplished something, and like this is like on a good path.
Yeah.
Then I got I went into different companies, started kind of making my way up, and still writing music, on the side as well. And so then had kids and whatnot, got a house. So eventually it paid off.
Yeah.
It was probably the best move I have ever made in my life, the best decision.
That's sick.
So yeah, long story longer. There you go.
Dude, I love that though.
Dude, so I'm kind of curious. So when you said you had met some people, that were into metal, that were into music and everything when you got there. So, like I know, like right now you're like shreddy guitar guy, right? But before that, like, were you playing in other bands? Did you decide to go full bore with solo stuff, or what was that?
Yeah, so before I left to Utah, I was already doing solo stuff because
Mhm.
like I couldn't find members. Like the hardest part about being in a band to me is like I can never find people who have the drive as much as I do.
Mm.
And I like it's always been hard on me because I always felt like either I was floating it or like nobody else cared as much. Um and so like pretty much yeah, right around like what 2012, everybody was recording on their own anyways, so I kind
Mhm.
of just got the gear, and I started recording on my own. I'm like, well, fuck it, we got MIDI drums, like this will suffice for now. And I just went solo, and then ever since then I've stayed solo. I have hired some musicians for some of my albums
Mhm.
recently, but like for the most part, yeah, I just went solo. And still haven't really met musicians up here who are willing to start a band. Like I said, it's still hard to find members who are as motivated and driven
Mm-hmm.
to continue this dream that I still have. Unfortunately, but that's just kind of how it is, and
Yeah.
it's my dream, and I don't expect other people to carry that dream as well.
Right.
But
Yeah. And doing all this solo music and stuff, I guess I'm gonna take it even further back then. Like, do you remember who it was or what it was that really like, got you down this path of like, this is a guitar, I want to fucking shred this thing. Like, what was that starting point for you?
yeah, so that even started before I was in the premiere, really. And it started with Luke from Protest the Hero. Like, that was the band that did it for me. Like, that has shaped my playing ever since.
Mm.
And even while I was in the premiere, I was still writing, like, heavier shit on the side. And I remember taking it to the premiere, and they would be like, that's too heavy. We can't do that. And there was limitations, and I didn't like the limitations,
Yeah.
I hated it. Like, don't tell me what I can't fucking play.
Yeah.
And so that's really what started it. And that was like the biggest band. Then from there was AJ from the Human Abstract, and then Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders.
Mhm.
That really paved the way. Like, oh, you can kind of go solo as a guitarist. I mean, we're talking back in probably 2009, 2010.
Mhm.
So definitely like. And before, actually, after the premiere, I started a band. It's the worst fucking band name, but it was called To Fight the Wolf. Awful.
Nice.
But we
I've
were
heard
kind
worse.
of
I feel
like
like
this.
it's
Yeah,
kinda cool.
Yeah.
it was awful.
Like
And
the
yeah,
t-shirt,
so
just
we
give it the logo.
The wolf.
wait. What T-shirt is that?
It's an Alaska wolf
An
t-shirt.
Alaska Wolf t-shirt.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Could have been an album art.
Could there you go. Yeah, so we had a band with them, and it was kind of more like Protest the Hero type. We had a singer, and then ended up kicking him out with full instrumental. We ended up playing like a show with Skella Summit, Periphery, and it was kind of like this first exposure to that scene. And then after that, the band kind of just split apart because I was like, nobody's dedicated, and I am sick of doing everything myself. So that's really when I went solo. And yeah, I just looked up to the people from, the band members of Protest the Hero, kind of like I said, Human Abstract, Skella Summit, those bands. Those are the bands that really did it, that like showed me, hey, you could be instrumental. You don't need to have a singer. And there's a niche market out there. There's actually an audience for that. Yeah, they're small, but there is an audience.
A very dedicated audience. I feel like, Martin, we played with both those bands, Scale of Summit and the Human
really?
Abstract, right?
Yeah, on the same tour.
Same tour.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a good lineup then. That's a great lineup.
Solid.
Yeah, there's. I mean, now the audience is. It's one of the probably most toxic community ever. So now it's
guitar elitist.
I was
yes.
I wanted to kind of ask you, like, what is this like when you play shows with just instrumental bands, right? Like, is it all just dudes that shred, like instrumental artists?
Yeah, it's pretty much it's other nerds. It's other music nerds.
Yeah.
Like, that is your market. It's crazy. You're literally playing to other musicians.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
the average person is not going to listen to it. They go, wait, there's no vocals. What am I doing? I'm not going to listen to this shit. I actually have a video coming out sometime this year that's actually based all around kind of that community, the toxic community, which is the guitar community, and kind of average people who are looking at social media and going, if they were to stumble, upon my page, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? Where's the vocals at? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's just keep on scrolling.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a big thing in that community. I'm excited to actually release this video. We'll see how it does. Probably shit, but it's all right. It's still fun to make.
And speaking of a video, so today Mike sent me Pride, and
okay.
And so I was opening it up. My mom was next to me, and I was just gonna show her, like, oh, this is our guest tonight. This is what he does. And so thinking that she would just kind of watch it and kind of, just go on about her life. But she sat and she was like, we watched the whole thing together. And it was funny because at the end of it, she's like, oh my gosh, I like that. And as she was saying, I like that, your daughter's like, and she's like, oh.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
But she still enjoyed it. She enjoyed the video.
Awesome.
She watched the whole thing. She was engaged, I think, more in the story, but,
yeah.
But I was like,
that's great.
I was like, what? Look what he's doing, though, Mom.
Yeah.
I was like, the guitar stuff. Look at that. Look at that.
I just like the story. That's awesome. I love that. And that's kind of like something that I found recently is that, like, if you are doing an instrument, like, dude, okay, nobody wants to see a fucking white dude play guitar anymore. Just shred. Like, just nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's not engaging anymore, really. And like, I get that now. Like, it's already been done before. Everybody can out shred me, and I know that. So, like, for me, it's like, I want to tell a story with my music.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's kind of what I started to do with my videos. So it started with the Pride, and the next few videos that are coming out will have a story that kind of wraps things up and kind of like ties a lot of the things together.
Cool.
I just think that that's a better way to describe my music, instead of having somebody try to paint the story themselves. Like, let's actually give them something. So that way, because if it's an average listener, they're going to get bored. It's already been done before. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I love that. I fucking love that.
Yeah, and that's it's so, like, the video is fun to watch. Like, I mean, yeah, just a dude shredding in a field, right? But still, it like the storyline and everything is like rad to put together too.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I do have a question.
It was fun to create. Yeah.
I do have a question about what the difficulty level was switching from 6 strings to what, fucking 7 or 8 or however many you're playing 8, right?
I play 8, yeah. So I'm an idiot and went straight from 6 to 8. I don't know why I did that. I thought I could, and I actually didn't pick up my first 7 string, I think, until about 2 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should have started with the 7 string. Probably would have been smarter. It was a big jump.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I didn't know what to do at first, and so I tuned it how I wanted. Like, I tuned it all weird, and I played like that ever since. Like, it's a weird tuning that I play in, and I actually, with all my 8 strings, I never had the. So 8 strings come with the two lower strings, right? The two
Mm-hmm.
bass strings. And I always was like, I don't really need to go that low. So I would always do one low and actually one higher string. So it's really, really high. So
Okay.
it's like a high G.
Right.
So very, very, uh, yeah, you can just go too high probably.
Yeah. It's
So
weird.
that's kind of how I've always set it up. Um, and I've never looked back because it was just the easiest for me to play that way. For some reason, going that low was just like at the time when I was, I think, 19, I was just like, whoa, that's just way too low. Who the fuck needs to go that low? But actually, now I'm looking back, like wishing that I never, like, I wish I would just played it the normal way, how it
Yeah, for
came.
sure.
But
That's crazy.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Have you guys ever played one?
I have small hands, so like the second that I held an 8 string Ibanez and I felt like a child. I was like, my hand won't even stretch all the way across the fretboard. I don't know how this works. I sent a picture to Ryan and he's like, do you own that? I was like, no, I found this at a Guitar Center. It's
He's
weird.
like, put it down.
Yeah, put it
Like,
down, walk
you're
away.
gonna hurt yourself. Put it down.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude, they are like going to a 6 string is like playing a kid's toy
Yeah.
now. Like I'm so used to the wide and just the wide neck to where it's
Mhm.
just like going to that 6 string is like, whoa, it's like a Fisher Price toy.
Damn.
It's weird, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
then
that took a while to get used to.
how did the endorsement come about with, am I saying it right? Is it
It's
Legator?
Legator,
Legator.
I believe. Yeah, Legator. So they
One of us is right.
it was interesting actually. They I kind of reached out to them and just let them know I was like shopping around, and they were super cool about it. And they were like, "Hey, how about we send you a guitar?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally cool with that." And since then, it's been pretty awesome. I own two of them, both 8 strings. One's headless, one's not. But really good guitars. I love their guitars. I highly recommend them. They feel and play amazingly. So
Yeah.
if you ever get your hands on one,
okay.
I would try it.
It's funny. I'm like, do we MBR was sponsored by them as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure. I was like, that's why I was looking at Martin. I was like,
Why did I think you guys had like for Fernandez?
we did.
I remember
Christian had the guitar. Okay.
Okay, dude. Why? I actually just talked to Christian not too long ago. I was actually chatting with him. Dude, what happened to Fernandez? I totally forgot about that brand.
They're still a
They
brand.
still around?
Most of them are sold, from what I understand, are sold in like Japan. So
Oh,
Fernandez,
okay.
they're still selling like the Bernies, like the Bernie Les Paul
Okay.
knockoffs and stuff like that.
Yep. I remember
So
that.
most of them are like overseas market. There's still some out here, but they're getting harder and harder to come by. Because I looked at a couple and like people are selling them like Reverb and stuff like that, but I I don't know how prominent they still are out here.
I'm gonna have to look them up, dude. I totally forgot
Yeah.
about. They had some unique, body styles.
Yeah, they
I
had some
remember.
cool shapes to their bodies, like some
Yeah.
like weird offset stuff.
Wait, so Daniel played Fernandez?
Yes, that's what I remember. Remember Daniel? I always remember Daniel was dope at doing the guitar swinging, and it was pretty awesome. I was like always jealous. And okay, here's a funny ass story for you guys.
Ready.
So we all played a show together. It was at some dinky ass place called the Annex in Moreno Valley. The only like venue that they had, and it was a church building, but it didn't look like a church building. It looked like an office space, really. And so we played a show with you guys, and it was jam packed. Actually, we like filled up that space, and I remember Charlie, the bass player. The night was going so well. The set was going so well, and Charlie, the bass player, was so stoked and like happy about how the set was going. On the last song, he says, "Hey, look out! I'm gonna swing my bass. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I'm like, I need to get the hell out of here.
Oh,
and this is
no,
like,
Charlie.
Daniel's there, so he's like, I gotta show off here. I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking at his face, and it is angry. Like, I can't wait to do this fucking guitar spin. And so I back up all the way. Like, I pretty much get off the stage.
Wisely.
Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
So
my gosh,
he
no.
takes his bass, and it is a Stingray, the Ernie Ball Stingray, and heavy ass motherfucker. So I just remember seeing his face, and he grabs his bass and just swings it as hard as he can, and it fucking comes flying and hits me in the knee, and it pings me. Like, I go flying against the wall. I'm a fucking 5'8", and at the time I think I probably weighed 120, and I go flying against the wall. It's right before my solo is about to come up, and I am in so much pain. Like, I thought that my knee was broken. So I go to stand up, and I collapse again. And it's in front of everyone. But I was, like, in the back, so I don't think anybody knew what the hell was going on. I was off the stage. And so I eventually, I'm like, no, this is it. Like, this is my solo. I have to get up to the front. So I fucking start, like, hobbling to try to get up to the front. And I think that there was a tear that came down to my eye. Like I was playing and I was in pain. And afterwards, I was so pissed. Like, what were you thinking? And it was in front of everybody. I was embarrassed, but obviously nobody knew. So there you go.
Dude,
so
where is that guy?
Okay, so
we actually.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I actually just hung out with him like less than a year ago. We actually had a premiere reunion.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. I mean, two of the guys I'm already related to. So.
Yeah. Oh, fair.
I haven't talked to him in years, and I know that he was playing in that band, Farewell My Love, something like that.
Yes.
Yes. And just like maybe a couple weeks ago, randomly, I just see his face and his name pop up on Instagram, and it's like,
okay,
we're doing something with Farewell My Love or something like that, and I was like,
yeah.
Where the fuck have you been? No response. Like, didn't hear back from him, but I was like, oh shit.
So that guy is like, I want to say he doesn't ever go on social media.
Yeah.
Ever. He's never on it. But it's crazy. That guy has, I will not say it, but he has always had the same phone number, and he's kept it ever since. So if you had his phone number, it's the same exact one that is like the same number. Literally, like, I don't know who gets those numbers. Like, how do you actually, like, that's a dope number. It's the easiest thing to remember. It's like the same number for all 7 digits.
It's funny.
So
you have it under.
You have it under.
Yeah.
Okay, so I met him through Ricky.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's in my phone as Charlie Rick.
Charlie Rick. There you go. That's awesome.
Dude,
that's good.
He's in my phone. He used to fill in for Creative Void a lot.
Yes, I remember that.
Whenever we didn't have a bass player. And I have him in my phone as Charlie Chocolate. Because also a story we won't tell on the podcast, but a story about chocolate milk that he once told us. And we were like,
no.
Okay, that's the name that's going in my phone.
It's funny, I'm starting to get Charlie stories.
Oh, exactly. Charlie had the worst stories ever. You're like, dude.
And it's
don't say that out loud.
And it's funny because if you talk to him, like
he's such a sweetheart.
He's so sweet. He's kind of dry and quiet, and then he'll just he'll just tell you something fucking wild, and you're like,
yes,
what? He's like, man,
like,
I just
you did what?
Yeah, or like exactly. what he's gonna do, and you're like, there's no way. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it later.
Please don't do that, dude. Please don't do that. Yeah.
Oh man,
fucking wild.
There's so many funny stories about him. I won't put him on blast for any of them because he's not here.
I'd like to.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Dang, that's crazy.
Hell yeah,
dude. I'm stoked that you guys all still like talk to each other. And, you know, like you.
Well, he's kind of forced to with two of them.
Yeah, two of them are forced.
The two of them are still yeah. So it was kind of like out of nowhere. We were like, hey, we should do like a little premiere reunion. The singer didn't end up coming. He was actually busy. But we'll probably get together again within the next year and probably have a full reunion with the singer and everything. His name was Mikey McGrath. And I want to say...
Did he date Courtney?
Don't know.
I have no idea.
Courtney who?
My friend Courtney. I don't want. Never mind. I don't want to blast her. if she wasn't, you know what I mean.
That I have no idea. I just remember he went on to, like, after the premiere, he still worked with Charlie and one of the guys from Rick's old band, actually, The Perfect Victim.
Okay.
So something like that.
They were
But
ringing
yeah, I
that
think
bell,
that
huh?
yeah, oh yeah. So they, yeah, I'm
wonder if it
pretty
was
sure he
Presley.
doesn't sing anymore at all. Yep, it was Presley.
What's Presley?
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
cool. Dude, what happened to that guy?
I have no idea.
It's funny. This
No
whole
idea.
era, like, guys, we just see all the time.
Yeah,
And
we
then
see
all-
regularly.
And then now,
yeah.
Yes, and then it's just nothing. And it's awesome to see the people who are still playing music. Like, I love it. Like, I'll never stop. I always try to think about, like, what my life would be like if I stopped playing music, and the only thing that I can think of is just anxiety.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a way for me to, like, focus on something else and kind of get my mind off of something and be able to, like, create, right? So I'll never stop, and I'm glad to see the people who are still going strong today. It's really awesome, pursuing dreams, or whether they're not pursuing dreams, they're just, creating music. It's really cool. Speaking of Priestley, though, it was weird. I actually hopped on a Twitch, and it was Jake Pitts from,
Black Veil Bride.
what's that band called?
Yeah, Black
yes,
Veil Brides.
Yes.
Because he used to be in
Yes,
the Perfect Victim
and-
as well, right?
He used to be in The Perfect Victim, yes. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I totally forgot about that.
A
That guy went on
shredder
to do
attracts a
big-ass
shredder.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went on to do some big-ass things. So I was like, damn, hell yes. That's dope. But,
Yeah, that's crazy. It's also crazy, like, how small the world is. Even like you said,
Yeah.
you're in Utah and you're seeing people, you're, like, running into people that you used to know out here. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's tiny.
yeah,
Almost tiny.
the community was, it felt small when we were, back in the day. And now it's only gotten smaller with social media too. You can hit up anybody at any time and connect,
Yeah, true.
which is awesome. So it's interesting days to live in, I guess I should say.
So speaking of, like, social media and things like that, you've always been pretty much a shredder. Even I think because I met you through Charlie before I even saw you guys play, and Charlie basically, his intro to who you were was like, yeah, he's kind of quiet, but he shreds, dude. And I'm like, okay, cool. But so, that's years and years and years of practice and working. But do you think that had you had access to, like, social media, YouTube, everything like that we have now, back then, where do you think you would be at as far as
that's a
your
good question.
playing goes? Because I feel like, dude, you can learn everything on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, it would have been rad to
yeah.
have had YouTube when I was learning to play guitar.
Yeah, it would've been so sick.
Yeah, YouTube University. Oh my God, yeah. Like, man, who knows? That's a great question. That's a hard one to answer. Yeah, like, because I actually, maybe it's because of the era that I did grow up in. I actually don't utilize YouTube enough today. Like, even if I have to figure a cover out, I will do it by ear. Still, instead of looking at, like, covers online. So it's hard to answer that. I want to say that I would probably be a lot better. But, like, for me, like, so I was homeschooled all my life, so I was able to put in the time and work to practice.
Yeah.
I remember being 14 years old, and I just played 8 hours a day. Like, that's what I did.
Damn.
All day, every single day.
See, I did too, but
To
I was playing, like,
Just power
chords,
power
man.
chords all day. Yeah.
I was just
I was open. That's the thing, is I was open to trying and taking in new things, and, like, seeing what other people were doing that were just blowing other people out of the water and going, I want to do that. I want to mimic that. And I want to make it my own, though.
Wait, what were you
and
playing
that's
though?
really what I did.
Like in those, when you were
so-
that young, like what kind of stuff were you, like, jamming?
So when I was that young, so my first song that I learned on guitar was Fox from Millencolin.
Sick.
which is just power chords,
Yeah.
just power chords.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yep.
So rad. Best
That
I've
was
ever
my
had.
favorite band, and like that's kind of what I tell people who are just starting out is like the best thing to do is pick a song you want to learn and fucking learn it.
Yeah.
Like that's how you're going to progress the most. I mean, obviously you want to learn your basic chords right first, and then from there pick any song and learn it. After that, I started learning like Coheed and Cambria, like Welcome Home, and a lot of The Darkness, because The Darkness, even though it was pretty easy stuff, they had amazing solos
Yeah.
that like people weren't really doing anymore.
Mhm.
And they were still doing it. And I loved that. I would learn Journey songs because I loved Neil Sean, and I loved his solos. And I pretty much, I remember buying so many tab books and just learning that way. Just all day, every day. That's what I did. And then eventually I just started like going, okay, I like what they're doing here. I want to do something like that. And then just kind of started messing around and like pretty much taking somebody's tabs, taking that key that they're playing in, and then going, okay, I see the notes that they're playing. Let me just kind of jumble those notes together and just try to do something of my own. And then that's how a lot of my riffs would start, is just going off and doing something of my own. And then it would form into a song. And yeah, like I think by the time I was 14, I was already making full blown songs and trying to get a band together, like as quick as possible. You know, just like I just want to start jamming with people, and then hitting the My Chemical Romance phase, where like everything that I played was like My Chemical Romance for like I don't know, probably felt like years, but most likely only 6 months
or 10 months,
or 10 and then from there it was like after that it was just like everything was Protest the Hero, because that was the band that like just blew my mind, like holy shit, you can do that. Like I remember learning sweep tapping, and that was something that they were doing, or just tapping full on riffs, and that was something that I was never exposed to, because even like in Metallica and Megadeth and bands like that and Slayer and stuff that I would listen to, they weren't doing that. They weren't utilizing those type of techniques really. But Protest the Hero was the one that opened my eyes to those type of techniques. And I'm like, wait, you can do that? Because like, Metallica was like super fast playing. I remember covering some of their stuff, covering some of their riffs, and it was really fast playing, really, really catchy as far as the riffs go. But it lacked this other piece that I just didn't know about. So yeah, that was, again, long answer, longer.
That's sick though.
There you go. It was fun.
I might be remembering this wrong. So Martin, I'm glad you're here. I kind of feel like Christian got into like the sweeping thing too because of protests, right?
So actually, I remember running into Christian at a Protest the Hero show in San Diego one time, actually. I don't remember if he was still playing for No Bragging Rights at the time, but I remember going, hey, that's Christian. And I remember him saying hi to me. And I'm like, holy shit, he remembers me from the premiere. I wasn't even in the premiere, it's been like years. So yeah, definitely. I knew he was in he was into Protest the Hero and bands like that. So definitely wouldn't be surprised if he got into those techniques for sure. They just opened so many doors. You can do a lot with it.
They were just accessible enough to like that punk rock, like, because that's what a lot of us were coming out of. We were all transitioning from like punk rock into heavier stuff, and some went to hardcore, someone went to like more metalcore, someone just straight into metal. And I feel like Protest was one of those bands that was just accessible enough for like us simple.
And it was interesting because there was like weird like tempo changes and weird like
Yeah, the vocalist of that band is insane.
Brody, dude, that guy is amazing. Everything that he does he's a great vocalist. They really like, so they came kind of from the punk genre, right? And then their biggest influence is Propaganda, right? And so really huge punk influences. Yeah, they've had the singer, I think, sing on a couple of their songs.
Sick.
Yeah, and so they. But what I liked about that is because I also came from punk roots. You know, I listened to Millencolin. Like that was my favorite band
Uh,
when I was a child, and like Rufio, bands like that. I don't know
fuck
if you
yeah,
guys remember Rufio.
dude.
They,
I love Rufio.
dude, that was my
Dude,
jam.
I've recently gotten
Oh
into
my,
like Scott Sellers, his own stuff, his solo stuff he's released, and
yeah,
he did like
I
like he released like 4 albums in a year or something
Oh
like
shit.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that, and I was like, dude, that's really impressive.
that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I loved Rufio. That was my jam. That and like Zebra Head. A lot of like the local stuff
Mhm.
from SoCal, right? But yeah, like pop punk was like my that's what I grew up on, and so Protest the Hero kind of changed that narrative for me. It was like, what if you put in some prog metal and still like you're fast, you're having the punk beats still, and so that's what did it for me. It was like, holy shit, this is fast, this is technical, it's still melodic,
Mhm.
it's not just like a wall of noise. I can actually like understand what they're doing for the most part. And it was easier, it was easy for me to digest really. So yeah, like that was, yeah, definitely that sent me off. That was like whole opened a whole new world, and then from there it was just nothing but prog metal, listening to prog metal and everybody that was pushing the envelope.
As funny as I feel like,
So
so I can play guitar, but I'm not a guitarist. I'm not a guitar player. But so I feel like Protest the Hero was a band that I could like listen to, and then I was just like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta come back, and like, but I don't want to jump all the way back to punk. So I feel like that's where like a band like Thrice was perfect for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I just actually saw Thrice the other day.
At
Sick.
Yeah, that was
their
Artist
the
is
artist in the
artist
ambulance.
Yeah.
dang,
Yeah,
dude,
that was a fun show.
I was at the Artist in the Ambulance album release show at the Glass House, the one that you had to have the wristband for.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
dudes, that's dope. That dude, they like packed that house, that venue here. I think it was last week I saw them. Dude, it was a packed house. It was crazy. I ran into so many people from SoCal, like that I grew up
Oh,
with. And I'm
dude,
like,
I believe it.
what the fuck? You guys live out here? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? It was crazy. So many people were there.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was awesome. It was way cool. I felt bad because I think like a majority of the people like left after they were done with Artists in the Ambulance. Kind of felt bad, but it was still a good show.
Because they played some more jams.
They came
Dang.
back. They came back for their encore, and I think
Good
What,
on
good
people.
amount
what
of
did they
people
play for the encore?
well, they played Deadbolt. I mean, their norm, like
Mhm.
two Deadbolt and something else. I think they played like 8 songs for the encore, and
Yeah.
like is it one was like Black Honey. I haven't listened to their newer stuff. I'm a
I
horrible.
haven't either.
Okay, so I don't really listen to a lot of music, so yeah, forgive me. I don't remember what
It's okay.
their newer stuff was, but yeah, I know one of them was Black Honey. I think that's what it's called.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, Artist in
yeah,
the
it was good
Ambulance
though.
was my last ride with Rice.
Yeah. After that.
Yeah,
After that, like every release I've listened to, and it's good, but I'm just like, oh, it's not, it's like not for me anymore. It's like it's not what I'm, it's not it's and like I don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh, it's not the Thrice that I started out with, and
I listened to that Thrice record that had like Black Honey and Hurricane and all that on it. I liked that record.
that's what. Yeah,
It was so good, but it also, yeah, if you're like, it's not the Thrice that
yeah,
everybody.
part of me wants to be like, wishes like I wish I was like a different band.
It's
'Cause
more
I feel
like,
like I could be more on board because I'm still attached to you know,
Yeah.
I'm still, there's still songs from Identity Crisis that I still freaking fuck
Yeah.
with really hard.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it
Oh,
feels
yeah.
like a completely different band, which is good for them. Like, it's like AFI too, you know?
Have you heard the
Yeah.
recording
Yep.
of Artists in the Ambulance that they did?
Mm-mm.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah, I did.
They recorded the whole record.
oh shit.
It sounds like
yep, they did.
different.
I haven't listened
Okay.
to that.
Sings it different.
Yep, and they changed some things, and they did it live too. So it's got this live feel, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually really loved. So was it the album? So Viasu, I think that's how you pronounce it,
Mhm.
and the Alchemy Index really shaped my playing a lot. So the Alchemy Index was really cool because it had like a 4-part, you know, I guess 4-part album. You know, water,
Yeah.
wind, fire. Yeah. Um, and they like I think every last song ends like the same. They bring back the same melody, and I thought that was the coolest thing. Like nobody was fucking doing that, and that really shaped like a lot of my albums today because I do that. You know, I'll bring back certain melodies, I'll bring back certain riffs, like that. That blew my mind when I found out that they were doing that. I'm like, holy shit! Like you've taken like this music art to another level. It was really cool. So that album's amazing.
So
I feel like I have to go re-listen.
Do it.
So I do have another question for you. So you're saying you don't really listen to too much music. What do you do with your time? Are you into podcasts? Are you into audiobooks? Are you
I
into
thought you were gonna say, have you heard torture culture?
no. No. Or do you listen to like are there just certain artists that you listen to regularly or
It's probably just writing, dude. Just writing.
So I'm a weird dude. So I don't really listen to much.
Try us.
So if I drive, I listen to nothing. Like on my way down to California, the 10-hour drive that I make, I listen to absolutely nothing.
you went silence for 10 hours?
Silence for 10 hours until my daughter was like, "Hey, put on some." She wanted me to put on some oldies, so I'll fuck with oldies. We put on like Whitney Houston, Prince, things like that. A lot of disco.
Okay. I got nervous. I was like,
that-
what do you
consider
what are you about to say, oldies, man? I was like, I mean, even that is like, I don't know. That's kind of like prominent when I was in high school.
I mean, yeah, today I guess like Nirvana would be considered oldies, I guess. But yeah, no, it's like more disco stuff, Earth, Wind, and Fire, things like that. So I put on that for like an hour. But yeah, other than that, sitting in silence. I don't listen to many podcasts, not a ton. Not really any audio books either. Like I've been jogging a little bit more lately, and I jog to nothing.
Nice.
So
Dude,
That's
yeah, just yeah.
I mean,
I'm a weirdo.
I get
kinda
it. I do it sometimes. Yeah.
When NBR stopped touring, I went through a phase where I didn't listen to anything either. Like I would drive in silence, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not that like it's not even for any specific reason. I mean, if I had to say, like, if somebody really were to ask me what is the reason, if I had to say something, it's really that like music for me is you have to digest it, right? And that takes a lot of energy for me to digest what is being played. Like when I listen to it, I don't just take it in and that's it. Like, oh, cool, that was a cool song. It's like the chord progressions, the notes that they're playing, what the drummer's doing, what every member is doing, and I pick apart what everybody's doing. I'm a critic really when it comes to music. So like if I would put anything on, it's like movie scores or even classical things like that. That's what I would rather listen to. Obviously, like if I hit the gym, I will put on like some metal mix, just to kind of get me through the gym session. But other than that, I do not listen to music.
Interesting.
Yeah. But not to like, yeah, it's weird.
What movie score albums would you put in? Because I don't even know if Mike knows this, but like I'll play in like the Zack Snyder Superman album.
Ooh, that's one of my top favorites actually.
Because that's
Hans Zimmer did that.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And that one's one of my top go-tos. I mean, anything that Hans Zimmer does is amazing. Interstellar is one of my faves. I really like Dune that he just did. I'm excited about the new one that's coming out. But anything that Hans Zimmer does is amazing. Howard Shore, also one of my go-tos. Yeah, huge Hans Zimmer fan for sure.
Have you ever caught any of his concerts?
I haven't.
Does he do concerts? I
Yeah.
imagine he does.
Yeah, he does. They're actually touring right now. So I actually had the opportunity to collaborate with his cellist, Tina Guo. That was a really, really, really cool experience. We did this little gent collaboration. She reached out to me and she was like, hey, I love your work. Do you want to, collab? And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I drove
Dude.
down to her house. That at the time she lived in Vegas, and we shot a little video. It was cool. She's an amazing person. Um, yeah, super cool experience.
Dude, that
So
rules.
that's kind of, and that's kind of the world that I've been kind of getting into more. I've been able to work with a couple of composers recently, which has been really awesome. Um, I wish I could say that, kind of give you a little nugget of what I've worked on in the past, but it's not even announced yet. But it's with a not only an awesome composer, but with a big metal vocalist, that I can't even believe I'm on it. But I do like a little solo on it. So it's kind of like the world I've been dabbling in, kind of doing more session work.
That's sick.
It's been really fun, really cool. Honestly, like composing is what I want to get into. I think after I'm done with this metal stuff, it's definitely like the route
Well,
I'm going to
you're
be
never
going into.
you're never done with the metal stuff. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
the thing.
just
That is the thing. Is it just evolves. That's it. It just
yeah,
evolves. And I always say, there's a time limit, but there's not.
yeah.
There's no time limit on metal. It doesn't matter. Like you can create it. Nobody fucking cares anymore. I think maybe when we were young, there could have been a time limit. Nobody wants to see some 7-year-old dude trying to shred still playing at a bar.
Right.
But I think nowadays we actually live in a cool, I guess, world where nobody's really looking at that anymore.
Yeah.
I was actually just telling one of my buddies this, that it's like, there's no time limit. Like you don't have to give yourself a time stamp and be like, hey, if I'm not where I want to be by the age of 30, I'm giving up. Like, no, that's not how you just keep creating, because you want to, because you love it, and put it out into the world and see what happens. So definitely no time limit. I will probably, like I always say, like I'm going to be done with metal, but I have a hard time actually believing that. I think what I mean by that is like wrapping up kind of the story that I have. Once I wrap that up, I'll probably dabble more into trailer composing. That's what I really want to get into. That's like the next kind of world community that I want to dabble in. So, and there's awesome composers here actually in Utah that I've actually had an honor to speak with and actually shadow. So really, really cool. The guy who actually just wrote the score for the Hogwarts Harry Potter game lives out here. I got to shadow him. He's really, really, holy shit, he's amazing at what he does. And that guy is a great human being. So, yeah, that is definitely the next area that I want to try to tap into. So, if anything, that's what I listen to.
Nice. Well, before we like tidy all this up, I have to ask you the couple guitar player questions that I'm sure the world would want to know.
Michael's a shredder now. I don't know if you knew this.
Not even close.
He has joined the ranks.
Fuck?
Yeah,
I've joined
Okay.
Mike's old man punk rock band, where, like you said, there's no time limit, right? Like we're all old, but no. So, are you when it comes to like the type of music that you're playing and what you're doing? Are you still playing out of tube amps? Or are you going full modeling, or what's your current setup looking like?
So I am just going straight direct and doing, all the plugin. Still doing the plugins. I feel like I was kind of an early adapter on that, because that actually started when I was still in California. So back in 2014, I think I had Waves, I believe, is plugin that I had, and it was like, I think it was just called Guitar. GTR is what it was. And so, because I was always so poor that I could never buy an amp. I could never buy a good tube amp. I played a Marshall with a crappy low end Marshall head when I played at in the Premiere. That's what I played all my live shows with. And now, it's just direct, using the plugins, Neural DSP, mix waves, things like that. Like that's where it's all headed for me. It's going to take me a while to get away from that.
Yeah,
they do such a good job on all those tones. It's unbelievable. So definitely that's what I'm playing now, and for the foreseeable future, really.
I think you guys are running neural. I think you guys are Tron and everybody are running quad cortexes. So you guys are in that
They ran it.
Yep,
neural world.
there you go.
For
Yep,
like traveling, just
Yeah,
for space.
way easier than bringing something like that
way
around.
easier.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude. Quad Cortex is the way to go. I haven't had a chance to pick one up yet, but hopefully, I will be. My goal is to be able to play some live shows. Maybe tail end of this year or beginning of next year. I will be the lone guy on stage until I can, find somebody who wants to play with me. But I will be using everybody as a backtrack: drums, bass, symphony, everything. All the
sick.
symphonic elements will all be on the backtrack. So that's kind of the world that I'm going to start to get into pretty soon, hopefully.
Dude, that's exciting. That's gonna be cool.
That's
So
cool.
epic. Like, there's just me and a guitar.
It'll be interesting, and we'll see how it does. But and I haven't played live in a very long time,
Yeah.
since the premiere days, really, or
Wow.
after that, just after that. So I'm excited to start that, and then I'll probably be starting a Twitch as well. Might as well.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Kind of
Cash
start
in
playing
on it,
live
man.
through there.
Dude,
Yep.
have you? I
It's
mean,
the way it's going.
I remember it blew my mind when we did that run with Scale Summit and the Human Abstract. I don't know which one of the members was it was, but one of the guitar players he was like, yeah, he's like, I need like a quiet space because I need to film a video lesson, and it was like,
Okay.
and I can't remember if it was like. If at the, I don't imagine if it was like a live stream or whatever, or if he was recording it and then then his people can like buy it from him. I don't know how it works.
Most likely that at that time, probably Chris Lechford.
That sounds
Most likely, if it was the guitars for Scale Summit,
That,
or
that
Travis,
sounds yeah,
but probably Chris. Yeah,
yeah. And I remember just thinking
Yep.
like, wow, like people
Buy this?
like you can like
Yeah.
people buy that shit.
yeah, it's all you have to do. And like he's like yeah, this is how I make a lot of my money. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Have you have you done or ever thought about doing anything like that? Or is that even thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, I know, like, it's just kind of my negative thoughts. Like, I just don't ever feel like people want to learn from me, and I just kind of feel like that I have nothing unique to offer that other people aren't doing, and I think that other people are good at it. So I just kind of leave it up to them. It's something that I haven't thought about before, but it's not out of the question at all.
But you're a salesman, dude.
I know.
I know.
That's why.
I know.
That's more why I was. You know.
Hey,
so,
I'm a salesman, and I fucking hate salesmen. So that's the kind of salesman I am.
Right
So
on.
like, yeah, I think that it's something that I would maybe dabble in once, like, because I want to get tabs printed and all that. And I think once you kind of get into that world, then I think there's going to be the questions of, hey, do you do lessons and stuff like that? I just feel like I'm not prepared for it yet. I'm more like, I love writing. Like, I am in the best headspace in my life when I'm writing. And it's something that I found recently. I've had a lot of mental health kind of issues this past like 2 years, really. And I realized that when I'm the happiest is when I'm like knee deep in writing and have like a project to work on. So definitely, like, that's always my key focus, is just to keep writing. And if people want some lessons later, I might consider it.
Sick.
Yeah, it's rewarding. Not that I've given
It
lessons,
is.
but I've taught lessons for sports. I've given lessons for pitching and stuff like that. But yeah. And I don't know if this is helpful in any way, but I feel like when it comes for me being a vocalist, like I love going online and just like finding different people and like seeing like different how they because everyone explains things differently, and like I even right now I currently I've like once a week I meet up we have a vocal coach. I say we because Mike has been to like 3 lessons or whatever.
I'm gonna make a comeback.
Do it. You got to.
I'm gonna make a comeback because I have to now.
You do have to. What am I doing? What?
Yeah, I have to now.
Mike will be there tomorrow.
Committed now.
Yeah, and so like all that to say, and then I'm saying this because when we were in Australia, the last 2 dates of band Outsider, their vocalist had to take off for a wedding, and so they flew, like one of their buddies just like flew in and to fill in for him, and then he does like the band, their vocalist does like a really low kind of scream kind of thing, and this dude can do that stuff, but that's not his normal range. And so I was kind of, when I realized that like that's not what he normally does, then I was intrigued by it. And then when I spoke to him, he was telling me, he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm a big like vocal nerd." He's like, "I'm gonna start doing lessons and stuff because like I like study vocal cords. I study how everything works. I know what I'm doing." And I was like,
Yeah.
Interesting. And just talking with him, like he just hearing, because it's like it's like I want to be working with my vocal coach I work with now, because I think she's great, and like she's helping me in another area of my singing. But it was cool to like talk to somebody that is like in the heavier world to be like, this is how I would warm up, blah blah. And he's kind of asking what I did. He's like, okay. He's like, that he's like, yeah, that works. He's like, I would, I'd be mindful of how you're doing, blah blah blah. And all that to say is like, I feel like you might have a bigger audience in the sense of there's a lot of guys that maybe, want like they're shredders in their own right, but maybe like they don't have technique, or maybe they don't have the right, maybe it's like, it's so much. I feel like it's so much more than just like, this is what the scale is.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I feel like someone like you offers like, hey, this is, this is a scale, but also if you want to be faster, this is how I do this, or this is, this is what I'm thinking when I'm doing this, or hey, this is what I use to make my guitar sound like this. I don't know. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just, I think giving some tips and tricks, I think goes a long way, because every musician has their own tips and their own way of doing things, their own unique style that other people could learn from.
Mm-hmm. And if they're listening to you, they're already past the beginner stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like at that point, it's almost like you're more of giving, like, it's more like tips and like advice and like almost like maybe mentoring, which is, I think, something cool.
Yeah. I think that I would rather get into more like writing tips, just because I feel like that's like where that's kind of more my forte. I've said this like so many times, I feel like already, like there's so many like shredders that can out shred me like easily. Mm-hmm. And like, I know that, and that's totally okay. But like, nobody's going to replace my sound and like my music. Everybody has a unique sound. Right. And I think that that's what I have to offer, when it comes to like tips and tricks and stuff like that. I know that like Will Ramos from Lorna Shore, he does amazing like coaching videos on technique and stuff like that, dude. Really, really cool stuff.
And he can sing.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like,
he can. Yeah. He actually came up to Utah to do his lab, where they did like the
the one in his
microscope
throat?
Down his throat.
Yeah.
Oh, no
yeah.
way.
That was here in Salt Lake. Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. That was an awesome video.
Dude.
So.
Yeah.
Dude,
those videos, like Mike was saying, like it is cool to see a ton of different perspectives, because like when I started jamming with them on this project, the other guitar player Ryan does so many pinch harmonics, so many fucking like weird like squealy parts, and so I legit like I had to watch like 7 different pinch harmonic videos and then just take little pieces of advice from everybody to almost figure it out. To almost
and
figure it out.
Form your own and do it your own way.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I was like, what the fuck is what's happening? I just hit the note and then just touch it with my finger afterwards.
There you go.
I got
That's all you gotta do. That's it.
So.
That's so dope.
Dude, that's...
Hell yeah.
Dude, and then last question, just because I'm curious. How did the whole collab like with Angel Vivaldi come about?
Yeah, so I've met with Angel. So it was an interesting story. So I was one of his Twitch watchers. I'm a huge Angel Vivaldi fan, and just he's an all-around great dude. And he was listening to other people's music, and I just kind of was like, "Here, you can pretty much squash my music and tell me it sucks." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I'll fucking do it, dude. I'll fucking do it. I'll listen to your stupid music, sure, just fucking send it over." And I'm like, "All right, make fun of it. Here you go. Like, have at it. Like, that's what it's here for. Critique the shit out of it." And he listened to it, and he was just like, "The fuck is this, bro? What? Okay." and it was such a cool, neat experience to like have him like watch his reaction. And I was like, oh wow, okay, he's digging it. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then we started chatting after that, and he started kind of coaching me on some stuff. And then I get a text from him, basically saying, "Hey, do you want to be in my music video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'll fucking make it happen. I don't fucking care. I'll take the time off. I'll make it happen."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, okay. Here's the details." And I'm like, "All right." So
Dude.
flew out to New York, and it was a blast. We had a 16-hour like day filming, and it was like something I've never been a part of, and I was just like, dude, this is legit. Like, and it shaped my mind too of like going, oh, okay, this is how things should be done. And just seeing him how he works, man, like the guy just gives off an energy that is so confident and so just like he's just so good at what he does. And it was humbling to see, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is an artist to me.
Yeah.
And that really kind of shaped like what I wanted to do as well. Like just watching him work was like mind blowing. So and super neat experience. Super grateful. And we've kept in touch. He's a really good guy. So yeah, it was just out of nowhere. He just texted me and was like, "Hey, want to be in my music video?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do it."
That's sick. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's been a wild couple years for so.
Dude, so you said you have some videos kind of in the works right now. What's the next release? What's
Yeah,
coming up next
I hate to
for
be
you?
that guy that I'm like, oh, I got a lot in the works, but I really do.
Yeah.
I work quick. I work fast. I have an album that I've been sitting on for 4 years that I'm finalizing that actually does have vocals. And
Your vocals, or
in
you
that
get someone?
not mine. I hired a buddy of mine, and
Is it the other David Lyon who is a metal vocalist?
That's what I found too, man.
no,
I was like, wait, what?
hold the fuck on. Is that a thing?
I swear to God, that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I did not know that.
If you Google David Lyon
Okay.
music, I think if you David Lyon music, like this
Okay.
random guy will pop up that's like, I'm David
Okay.
Lyon and I'm a metal vocalist, and he has a full-on website
No
and everything,
way.
spelled the same and everything. I was like, wait,
You
Damn,
you have
all
to.
You
right.
guys need to. You guys.
I'm gonna have to collaborate with this guy.
Dude,
Yeah.
David Lyon
I'm
and
gonna have to
David
collaborate
Lyon.
this. Yeah,
Dude.
the fucking lions. Hell
Dude.
yeah. Dude, that is funny. Yeah, no, I have to make this happen now. So yeah, I have this album that's it's been in the works for like 4 years, and while working on that, I was like, I can't just sit on that for 4 years. Like, there's just no fucking way. I got to do stuff in the meantime. So I've already come out with my first solo EP. I have another EP that should be out this year. It was supposed to release in April, ran into some snags. So it should be out later this year. Shooting 3 videos for that. And then already started writing for my next EP, which is halfway done. So I have a lot in the works. It's now just kind of sitting on some stuff, time, unfortunately these things take time. But I'm hoping this year will be a fun year full of releases. Hopefully the full-length album with the singer will be out next year. That's what I'm hoping for. I would love for it to be released this year, but I know how these things go.
Yeah.
So lots in the works for sure. I hate to be that guy, but there is. And it's fun.
We're those guys too.
We're
man.
those guys too. Yeah.
I love it.
You want to plug like any social medias, anything like that?
Oh, hit me up. Check out my music, David Lyon. My handle is usually just David Lyon Music. I'm on all the social medias. Check out my stuff. And don't stop believing. If you have a dream, just fucking do it. Chase towards it. That's the only way to do it. Never give up. So,
Dude, and we're doing this super backwards, but we didn't do our mental health check.
Oh yeah. So we like to do a
So we
every episode we try to check and see where we're at mentally, like for that week, and 'cause it helps us like keep track of if we're going right, what are we doing? If we're not, what are we neglecting to do that is like keeping us there. So you're our guest. Would you mind going first and giving us your mental health this week?
This week, I feel like I'm on the up.
Nice.
And I feel like I'm gaining some motivation. feel like I'm gaining some confidence back. So this week has actually been, you guys caught me on a great week. I feel like it's things are trending up for me. So thanks for having me. This really actually helped a lot. Really, really, really appreciate it. How about you guys?
Michael?
Mentally for me, I'm doing well. I feel like this has been it's been a good. My life's been kind of crazy. It's been crazy. And so this last week, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting on a good, like finally finding my footing and in this new world I'm finding myself in, and I feel good. Yeah, mentally. Stop, Martin. Martin's over here just.
Martin's in the background just doing this.
He's making he's doing heart things and. Yeah. Where are you, Michael?
What about you?
I'm good. I've just been this weekend was kind of rad. Like I spent some time with family Friday night. Caught Turnstile and Blink on Saturday night.
Nice.
We got coffee together on Saturday morning.
Surprisingly, Blink sounded good. I was fully expecting to go in and have Blink sound like Blink does live, and
yeah.
Hey, Tom's been playing his guitar. It sounded good. It was actually a pretty fun show, and went
That's
with
awesome.
with our boy Raw. Shout out Raw, Liquid Death, and also with Andrew, Share the Backline, and me and Andrew got emotional together with Adam's song. So
Nice.
It's cool. It was a nice little experience. Other than
Good
that,
times.
I've been
That's good.
chilling. Real good.
And before we take off,
awesome.
you kind of mentioned you've had moments where you've been like depressed or you've had down times. And you said writing is a big thing for you. What else do you kind of use to get you out of like a funk when you're in it?
Usually I would turn to like working out or anything like that, more family time, things like that. But I think in the last couple years, those things have, not that they haven't worked, but I think I've just been in a deep, dark space for a very long time that getting out it's just been difficult. I think that I lost my confidence somewhere. And the ability to feel, I think that I had a huge, why can't I think of what that's called? Wow, I can't think of that word.
I feel imposter syndrome all the time. So I don't know
Thank
if
you.
that's what
That's
it
it.
is. Is that what it
That's
is?
the word.
I was like, cool.
Yep, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So after writing the album that has not been released, I feel like I've kind of been comparing everything to that, and nothing has been really sounding like that. It's it's an album that I poured my heart and soul into, and even though I pour my heart and soul into everything else I write, it's just not that. And I think that there's just been, and I think it's really just been this week of this like, kind of having this understanding of really what acceptance is. I've been in and out of therapy for the past 2 years, and they've always talked to me about acceptance, and it's something that doesn't really click. You're like, yeah, okay, acceptance. Yeah, I need to accept things how they are. But I think this week really, I realized that you need to accept the present and what is happening around you today, and that maybe you'll never get that mojo back. That's okay. It's okay that you'll never be that person again, but you need to look at what you have today and make today better. Instead of just comparing that you don't feel that way anymore. You're not that Superman guy who you felt could do it all, raising kids, creating music, working a full-time job, going to the gym, being a husband, and doing it all. Maybe you don't feel like that anymore, but that doesn't mean that you can't strive for that. And I think that really hit this week, as I've been dealing with that for 2 years now of not feeling like that. Maybe a little bit of this has helped. I picked this up since I went to fucking California. I smoked cigarettes for 2 years. I quit for a year, and then I picked this stupid thing back up, or this fucking robot thing while I was in California. Maybe that's kind of helped a little bit because I felt like when I quit cigarettes, it put me into a really, really, really dark space. And I've been kind of slowly been trying to climb out. So this week has definitely been awesome for me. This chatting with you guys, telling you guys my story and telling you guys, about how I felt. This is great. So I really appreciate you guys and all that you guys do. So.
Hey, man, we appreciate you taking the time to come on with us, man.
Yeah, man. I'm
Whatever.
stoked. I'm
Whenever
stoked we
you guys
finally
want.
got you on.
Yeah.
Hell yes. And next time I'm in town, I will fucking hit you guys up and we can do this in person.
Dude, even if it's just to hang out, man, hit us up.
Or give us any dietary restrictions that you have, and we'll find some food.
I ate Taco Bell for a fucking year straight. I have zero diet.
True.
Zero restrictions.
Okay.
There's actually a Taco Bell right here now, so we're good.
It's really a nice one.
Game on. It's a date. It's a date.
Hell yeah. Dude, well, thank you so much once again for coming on.
Thank you guys.
This is rad.
Yeah.
No way to handle my aggression. Looking to my